9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Hi there, and welcome to the stream. Yes, we are going to be looking at your tactics today. Some strange things have been happening to my rig. Certain settings seem to be off now. I'm just going to try and see whether I can fix those first without having to restart the stream. Yeah, it's not detecting something. It's not detecting audio from my gaming rig, which shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, it shouldn't be a problem today, because I'm not exactly using that at the moment. Yeah, so there's no audio that needs to come from there today, so it should be fine. Yeah, which is a bit of a bummer. Yeah, I normally don't have those kind of issues, but seems like when I was away for a couple of days, something happened. I don't blame anyone for that. Okay, anyway, this is a show where we are going to be taking a look at your tactics. I'll fix all of that maybe on the weekend. That's really the only window I have nowadays. So I'm going to pop in the tactic for you guys. If you need to upload your tactics, you can use that link. Meanwhile, we have some tactics we're going to be looking at today. We're using the save. Essentially, this is a save that I use. I always use a different team for Bring Your Tactics, or in this case, you rename the show to Diagnosis. Once again, before we jump into the show, heads up, in a couple of months' time, probably somewhere in October, I will start changing the stream times because I am looking after the kids. I'm a primary caregiver at home, and I need to make sure that the kids are settled before I start streaming, which means that I either start streaming after I send them to school, when I have a few hours, and then I can do the content for the shows and of course our Football Manager 26. I need to sort that out because these timings now are becoming unworkable, because things like the kids need help with school and homework and tuition. I teach them as well, so I have to be hands-on with a lot of that stuff. Taking them to their ECA, their sports, and then after that going to bed with them and waking up in the morning and preparing their breakfast for school and their lunch for school. Yes, I cook their lunch too. So all of that stuff I'm gonna have to do, and yes, that means that stream timings will have to change. Yeah, I hope people can understand that. Yeah, and meanwhile, but I still want to do this. I love doing this. I love playing Football Manager. I love engaging with the community. Yeah, the day I stop is the day it's all out of the window, and probably will leave the game completely. And hopefully that doesn't happen anytime soon. Okay, yes. So how do we do this? You send in your tactics with the link. The guys on Discord have their own link. Speaking of which, you guys on Discord asked for the Hungary save. Yes, it's already in the Discord folder, so you know where to find that. Yeah, usually I get requests to share my saves, and I do that quite a lot. And we are in season 4 of the Hungary save and getting into a position where financially I think we can start asking the board for improvements and upgrades to our facilities. Meanwhile, here on BYT or Diagnosis, I have guys coming in from Discord with their tactics. We'll play them for 45 minutes, and then after that, I'll share any ideas I might have about the tactic. This is not meant to be a critique of which are the best tactics out there, and plenty of other guys are doing that at the moment. This is more a case of your tactic, showing you how I would play it, or not that I'm the best player in the world. It's just that I tend to do lots of tweaks in my games. You've seen that many times. I play a 4-4-2 and I played in like 10 different ways. So, and I noticed based on my conversations with many of you that there are challenges right with this game. I think I've heard people suggesting that they have challenges, even changing things like mentality. So sometimes when you watch me on my streams, you'll notice certain things that I do. Certain simple things like, I will suddenly out of the blue go like, okay guys, I want to attack through the middle, and all I do is I change width. right? Or, okay, I'm going to get everybody else involved in goal scoring and I change one role in duty. So these are small little things that you can do in your game. How will that impact us in FM26? I'm sure everything will remain the same. I don't think the guys at SI are going to make the game overly complicated, but I do think that there are going to be changes to the way tactics are created on Football Manager. From what I have gathered, and there have been so many leaks that it's impossible not to talk about them. Right? I know that I'm a tactics and training moderator on the forums, and there are certain things I can't share, and there are certain things I can. But once these leaks happen, all I can say is based on the leaks. Okay? Based on what we've seen, it's very apparent that we're going to have an in and out of possession system, right? So how it's going to be set up, I have no clue, okay? It's probably going to revolve around us choosing roles and roles especially. I don't see duties though. I mean, the leak had like descriptions of roles, right? So some of these roles seem similar, except when you read the description, it tells you something. That's some of these are meant to stay back. So from what I can gather, it'll be a case of us choosing roles for us when we're attacking, when we have the ball, and when we're defending. So it's very interesting what happens during the transition phases, because they don't talk about that. So none of the leaks have addressed that. So the biggest challenge in Football Manager, even now with FM24, is what your team looks like in transition. So if your tactics are struggling, it's probably down to the fact that you haven't got that down right. So whenever I make my tactics, I'm thinking in terms of when I'm going from defense into midfield, the first phase where we're consolidating, we're getting ourselves ready. That is actually the most important phase of the game, because you want to be able to move that ball the way you want it to go. So what do I mean by that? Sometimes you are looking at preferring play to go towards a certain playmaker. So how do you do that? How do you encourage play in that area? So we have tools in the game like focus play, which help us. We have roles that help us. And then, things like, basically that's it. Focus, team instructions like focus play and roles, and of course width. Yeah. So these are the three main things I find that actually help you do that with your tactics. So that's what I think people should start focusing their minds on, especially with Football Manager 26 on the horizon. Hey man, Godspurs, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Always excited. I love talking about Spurs, man. This year is going to be great. I think you guys are going to do well. Top 4 finish, I won't be surprised. I am not surprised, if you guys finish in the top 4. In fact, I'm banging on you guys to finish the top 4. I want Spurs to be in the top 4. Yes, you're missing 1 or 2 key players, but I think you can get there. All right, so we've got 3 tactics in so far. We'll have to play all 3 tactics. First tactic, we'll start from the back. Now, this is basically gives you a good idea of what your tactic is going to do. High defensive line means your back line is supporting the attacks quite aggressively. High press of engagement means you're sitting in the opponent's third. So you're expecting your back line to give you a lot of attacking options. So your backline is going to support midfield, and you can expect them to be in the final third. If you have a lower defensive line, it just generally tells you your backline is not going to be supporting the midfield so much, and most of your players aren't going to be pushing up in support of midfield, and that this generally will leave your attackers isolated. So there's going to be a bit of a disjunct between your attacking group and your defensive group. So that's how you should approach defensive lines. If you think defensive line is only for your defensive phase, you got it all wrong. You have to go to the manual, which you can find here, and you'll find that defensive line explained excellently over there. All right, so we've got this prevent shot goalkeeper distribution. Only happens when the goalkeeper is playing like a dead ball situation, right? With his, he's playing the ball out like, goal kick and stuff like that. Trigger press is set to more often. That's fine. I mean, this just means that more players are going to react to a mistake by an opposition player. The whole shape counter press, this is nice. It just tells me when I'm looking at this tactic, your goal is to keep possession, but you're not going to just attack willy-nilly. You are going to move the ball around looking for goal-scoring opportunities. So your tempo becomes very important here. If your tempo is very high, it's going to run counter to whole shape. Yeah, because whole shape is about moving the ball around, looking for a goal-scoring opportunity. When you play on higher tempo, you're moving the ball around very quickly, And you might not have players in the ideal positions for you to carve out those goal scoring opportunities. Now here we've got shorter passing, which means that he's looking at keeping the ball relatively close. I mean, the players are going to be playing a lot of short passes, so looking at then now it's important to look at roles. Okay, so what we have here, we got a roaming playmaker who's likely not going to be short passing because he's got mixed passing and he's got risks. You've got a DM again. This is going to depend on the player that you have. If you have a player here who's got very good passing instincts, then that instruction that we had in short passing, he might ignore it too. Because looking at this, right? If you look at this, it says shorter passing, but look at all this. This is unchecked. It means that there's a likelihood that he might take more risks, he might take fewer risks. This is all that it means. When you leave these unchecked, it just means that you're leaving the decision making up to the player. And a lot of that decision making will be driven by mentality, which is the risk modifier. All right, so then we have the back line, the fullbacks, they're on attack. Yeah, this is great. Fullbacks on the same thing they're going to do. Essentially fullback stuff, right? But this, in my opinion, is one of the best roles in the game. Why? Fullbacks aren't stupid players. They don't just dribble with the ball. They try to pass the ball if they can't beat the player. Then we got ball playing defender. Again, another role here that might take more risks as he plays the ball out, sweeper, keeper. We got wingers who definitely do not believe in the whole I'm going to keep it short. So they might cross the ball occasionally. They will hug the line. They will try to hug the line, but you're looking at your width, you kept it fairly narrow. So you're basically telling your team, hey, you know what? The priority is going to be moving the ball through the middle. That's what you just told your team. So you've got a winger here, and you've got a target for is going to hold up the ball. This is interesting. This setup, there's nothing wrong with it. I think this can work with a lot of teams. The problem becomes when you play this setup with an average team. Now, I am the opinion that, when you are using whole shape, you need players with a certain attribute profile. Whole shape is about patience, it's about composure, it's about working the ball into good goal scoring positions. This means that your players have to have good first touch, passing, composure, balance, agility. Those qualities that you need in a good team. You'll find them in sides like top sides around the world. They are able to keep the ball at their feet and move the ball, keep the ball moving. So that attribute becomes important for whole shape. Now, if your team is an average team and you tell them to hold shape, then it might work against weaker opponents, but it'll fall apart against top sides who can apply the pressure. So now let's take a look at this. Manchester United, amazing. Manchester United were good. They were playing really well against Arsenal. They were just unlucky. I mean, they just don't have the luck factor yet. They give them a few more matches and they'll come good. I think United are a strong team for a top 5 this season. Fingers crossed that would be some miracle. I don't think it's a miracle, man. I don't think it's a miracle for Spurs to finish in the top 4. I think Spurs have the quality. Last season was a bit of outlier as far as I'm concerned for a lot of teams. So here we got Pellegrini. He's got passing. I mean, we can try him in this position as he's just playing as an AM. We got Sharawi playing as an inside forward, moves into chance places, moves to the right foot before dribble. Okay, I don't like playing a player as an inside forward and he only has 1 foot. I read that and he's like, I don't like to, you just basically say, I don't like to use the other foot. I'm like, dude, seriously, sometimes you got to use the other foot to go wide. Otherwise, you got a one-dimensional attacker. So we're going to play him here instead, Hussein Maouwa, and see whether we have any other options as the winger. I mean, we can use Renato Sanchez, but he's not very good in that position, so he's likely to make mistakes. What about Dybala? Dybala can play across all positions, so he comes deep to get the ball. There's no focus play here. It looks like this tactic has got this guy pushing up into this position. So we might have no choice but to play him, but we'll keep an eye out on that player. It's not ideal. I don't think these players are ideal for this system. You got Bove here. Okay, this is fine. Just tells me that this guy is going to be good at getting into making himself available for the pass. He's got good attributes, decent attributes for a roaming playmaker. It's not too bad. Maybe missing a bit of I mean, he's not strong in the air. That's about it. His first touch is still decent. His passing is okay. I mean, honestly, decision making is the only thing here. 14, but 12 is already Premier League standard. 14 is world class. So concentration a bit low, maybe, but there's not too many attributes that are. You can see there's not much. I mean, if you wanted to tell, right, whether he's whether Bove is a terrible choice for a roaming playmaker. You just come in here, go to roaming playmaker and look at the attributes. Bang. What is he missing? It's concentration. That's the reason why is that score of his, right, was half a star below everybody else. Because you do need concentration and dribbling for these two positions. You need the player to be good on with the ball at his feet. So that's the only thing he can't do very well. But 12 is what I like to call the minimum attribute for a top tier team. Okay, so we'll try it out. We'll see how it goes. I think it's still a fine tactic. Just needs these kind of tactics. They just need the right players. That's all. I love roaming playmakers. One of my favorite roles in the whole game is the roaming playmaker. But here the roaming playmaker is pushing up. Now the only thing is when he pushes up, right, nobody actually comes into this hole. Right, he's gonna go up, right? So this player here, he needs a lot of good attributes like ability, concentration, anticipation, positioning. He's gonna have to shift to cover that spot. And this defender also needs to be able to react. So his chances of him coming up and getting into trouble quite high. So this pairing is going to be very important. So far, Roma have all over this team, and yeah, so far I haven't seen anything yet. So let's go to comprehensive highlights. I'm not going to change too much about your tactic. I think this tactic will work for a good team. For an average team, it might run into trouble because whole shape isn't ideal for average teams. As you can see, he's picked up a yellow card already. Mancini is the one that's going to be in trouble. Because I was expecting him to get in trouble, and he did. Yeah. Because he's got to come up to cover for this roaming playmaker. He's going to go there. See, it's gone up already. So this puts an issue with this position, which is one of the reasons whenever I play with roaming playmakers, right, behind the roaming playmaker, my favorite role in the whole game, the libero. So the libero actually pushes up to support them, to support this gap. So even if we lose the ball, I mean, his counter pressing is on. If it's close, he'll try to support the player, but it's not for everyone. So far it's okay. I mean, I don't think your tactic needs to be changed. I mean, the only other thing I would do is hold shape, right? You go low crosses and work into ball. That's it. Now, your team is going to be moving the ball around. So what we just done is we added these two instructions. We can do that because we started the second half, right? Okay. So I'm allowed now to make changes. Hey, Harry, how are you, man? So we go in. Now when we add low crosses, it just means that the boys are going to go all the way up the pitch looking for cutbacks now. It just is a risky thing to do for an average team. I'm telling you right now. I don't think you should play low crosses, work ball into box if you're not a very good team. Yeah, you need that. You need to have a decent quality about you because you could lose the ball in your attempts at moving the ball around slowly. So not too bad. Again, right, we are looking to carve out opportunities for ourselves, but so far defensively we can't. But we give up a corner. Yeah, defensively it seems okay. Is your tactic is actually breaking down in the final third. So what we're gonna do now is gonna try something slightly different. Okay. We got a winger here inside forward, right? A DM. Fullback on attack this way. I'm going to take this guy and turn him into a false fullback. Oh, he's already a false fullback. Okay. All right. Cool. Oh, now I understand what you did. So this sit narrow, he wants me to come into this position. Okay. All right. Culos bananos. This guy is not doing that very good. Okay. So he's going to come this way, but we're going to put him on support instead of attack. We are also gonna Dybala. So a very strong right foot. Okay, good. So we're gonna focus play down the right, underlap on the right. Okay, so he's coming up. He's gonna check back inside the target for, and this guy is gonna go on an attack duty. So I want him to swing in this hole here. This role will become an inverted fullback on defense. Yeah, so we get a 3-man defense, but this guy will push up slightly, so we'll give him a fullback on attack. So he comes up as well. Okay. All right. This is a bit more dangerous. But what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to create a kind of a overload on the right side now. Okay. Featuring Dybala. Okay. Oh, that was offside. Okay, they're still running into trouble on that side of the pitch. That's fine. Yeah, bang, Bowe with the ball. Spinazzola, Sharawi. The goal here is to get in Sharawi into goal scoring position. Bowe moves up now. Okay, we're getting into better positions now. Okay, because of the underlap, right? The widest player holds up the ball. This is going to encourage this guy to shoot up a bit more as well. Okay, so now we're going to take this guy and turn him into something else. A shadow striker. And we are going to ask, since we're playing the whole game of, what was it? Whole shape, right? So there's going to be a fair bit of movement in this tactic, no? So this guy is going to drop. Excuse me, he's going to drop. This guy's going to come in here. There's going to be a lot of funkiness going on in the final third, no? We haven't created anything of note, no? Because the problem is this, yeah, we're keeping things quite simple with this tactic. We're not making, we're not putting in too many complicated pieces in this tactic right now. Okay. But once again, I want to reiterate this. This tactic is meant for a good team. Average teams, you'll have to do things like focus play, trying to play without whole shape. Means you're looking for any opportunity. In fact, this is very patient. There we go. Another, yeah, beautiful. See, this whole sequence of events has happened because of the whole shape instruction. Okay, so what happens here is the Mancini. See, look at how our players have pushed up. This guy is the widest player, right? Christensen. So when he gets the ball, they swap. Now Dybala becomes the widest player. This is how underlap works. The widest player looks for runs happening inside and ahead of him. Look at, he's going to go wide. He's going to look for a run. He sees 1, 2, 3 followers waiting, right? So he plays one right into this pocket. Now, Aouar now charges into the box because we just changed him into a shadow striker. So the target forward has pulled players away, right? He's gone deep and he's gone into the area. So he's gone into mark. So what we did was we kind of created a few more moving pieces for our tactic against a team that wasn't giving us enough space to create goal scoring chances in. But what we did with the instructions is important, right? So here, once again, what I've done is I've added this work ball into box. Why? Actually, I want to slow the game down. I want to remove too many crosses. I want the players to push high up the pitch with low crosses and do cutbacks as far as possible. But this does not mean that they're never going to cross again. They still will. The underlap is the widest player looking out for inside runs, which is the instruction this thing does. And then focus play moves more of my players towards the right side of the pitch, thereby giving us space to attack on this side. We managed to score 1 goal. Oh, there we go. Nicely done. Defensively, we don't have a problem. Yeah, defensively, I doubt we're going to have a problem. Now, Christensen is a bit tired. Yeah, but looking at this, that's fine. So, Christensen. This is like why I like false fullbacks. Now, if he's, there we go. He makes this inside run now. This player now, who's got the underlap instruction, he's got to look out for all these guys to play passes too. There we go. Second goal. But he's offside. But this is how you use underlap in the game. It is a phenomenally powerful tool with focus play embedded into it. But then you need to understand how it actually works. So ever since we did the underlap, now we've got players charging in, looking in for goal scoring opportunities. Okay, now we're going to swap this guy and this guy. Because one guy is not fit. I need the roaming playmaker to be running up the pitch. We conceded an equalizer, but yeah, it's a bit unfortunate, but you know, what to do, such is life. Okay, Bove now, Paredes, he's got a yellow card. He loves to tackle hard. Okay, not bad. Wukong sequel is out soon, really. Okay, there we go. Another one. Pity, we couldn't get more goals from there. My tactic is put together just trying to learn from Roche. Okay, cool. So, but that was how I would tweak that tactic, right? I mean, the tactic works, but how would I make this tactic sing? Okay. Now, the problem when you have a target for an attack is he becomes a focal point of attacks. So sometimes the ball is going to come to him and only him in terms of crosses. So what I did was I turned him into a support duty to score more goals, right? So here, if I turn into a support duty, I'll just play him as a shadow striker. I'll leave the roam from position in there. And now we got this guy coming here, right? Because of he's a false fullback, but you need somebody who actually will cut inside, so you get it more often. Now, this doesn't mean he will never do it. It just means that sometimes he won't do it. Okay, okay. The other thing about this I don't understand is people seem to think that if the guy has a trait, he's never going to do it. He did it a couple of times in the game. Remember, traits are a tendency to do something. Instructions also a tendency to do something. Okay. Doesn't mean the end of the world. Okay, so he goes to come in this way. And then what we did was we did this. And then we turned this guy into an attack duty. And because we know we're going to be heavily attacking on this side, this guy became an inverted fullback. So we kind of did the whole football 101. If you're going to attack this side of the pitch, actually, if you're attacking this side of the pitch, then you'll lock down this side. That's the rule of thumb. But I did the opposite. So I locked up this side because I know that we might lose the ball and I don't need him to be running too far forward. So this group is going to be compact enough for us to win the ball back through counter pressing. Yeah, but yeah, it could work in different ways, but this is one way I would do it. All right. The trailer was released today during Gamescom. Really? Oh my God. You guys, if that, I don't think I'll have time to play the Wukong sequel. Yeah. Okay. Now the mid-block tactic. All right, now we got a new tactic. It's a mid-block 4-4-1-1. Very nice. Okay, Harry, we'll see how your tactic does today, man. Hi BTM, how would you play a squad whose most players are brilliant but don't have the work rate or aggression to defend? I'll sell half the squad. For me, work rate is important, aggression is important. If I have a squad, then the squad that don't have those attributes, tougher, I mean, you can't have a lot of players on aggression. I'll still play them attacking. Yeah, I'll still play a very attacking tactic. I'll play halfway up the pitch. I won't expect them to be playing a mid blocks. There'll be a high block all the way. Yeah. All right, so now we've got this group here. We got this. Let's take a look at this tactic. High defensive line, backline is going to support attacks. We're going to do the pressing in the middle third. We got, he's distributing the center backs as counter press, counter, fairly attacking tactic. Whip crosses, I probably would take this out because I know why you have it. You want to get quick goals, right? That's why you do that. Pass into space, play our defense. Play our defense work is actually for you to draw the opposition so you can attack them behind the lines, which pass into space will help you out pretty well. I mean, AM looks like you have one goal scoring threat in this tactic. Nothing wrong with that. I think this can work for a lot of teams. We're not going to play Lukaku because I don't see him as the one-man goal scoring machine. We got Cristiante, Bove, Dybala, Sharawi, Christiansen, Angelino, Smalling, Mancini, and Karsdorp. We'll just start with this team. Are you playing? I don't know. I don't have time. I don't have time to play Wukong. I might get the game because I actually like the combat system, but I don't even know whether I'll have time to play the game. Yeah. Nowadays, I hardly have time to play the game. And then once a football manager comes out, I'll probably be focused. But I definitely will see if I can get my hands on the game. Nice. You like that? Look at that, man. This is what, the moment they want the ball back from a counter press, they want a counter straight away. That's what that instruction combination does, right? Counter press, counter. So you win the ball, after a successful counter press, you look for an attacking opportunity straight away. And this is interesting because we are playing against a back five system. So this set of instructions is pretty good. You don't give the back five system time to settle down. And this back five system we're putting a lot of pressure on them down the flanks. There's whip crosses in this tactic, not my favorite now, because you're playing against a back three system. I would not play whip crosses against a back three. The defenders are going to mop everything up. So you want to move them out of position. You want your players to run at the tree and to split the tree. So one of the best instructions against a back three will be focus play. Yeah. So you have a focus play, you're attacking one side of the pitch, and then you're drawing that back tree, you're tearing that back tree. At this point in time, I'll focus play down there, focus play down the left because their right back is not tired. So if it was me playing this game, I see that CWB with the red bar, that's where I'm going. Because your tactic is balanced enough on both sides for you to choose which side to focus play on and which side. And when I do that focus play, I remove the underlap on one side because I don't need underlap on the other side. I need that side attacking. So this is how you use underlaps. The moment you put two underlaps, right, it's not ideal because you actually reduce the mentality of your player, the widest player. So you don't want to reduce his mentality. So always remember, when you play underlap, the mentality of the widest player will be reduced because the underlap of the fullback's underlap mentality actually goes up. But the wider player, his mentality actually is lowered. So you're telling him to take less risks now. You don't want that to happen, right? So I'm waiting for halftime. Because I'm waiting to get that striker into that position. So I'm itching to hit that instruction to show you guys what it means. Because now underlap is working on both sides. So the mentality, so a lot of your goals are going to come through the middle now. That's nice. You see the guy who scored the goal? I can see what you have in your tactic now. That was your fullback coming on the inside. So you told the fullback to sit narrow. That's when the fullback starts scoring a lot of goals. This is nice. I didn't realize that you had him on that instruction. Yep, sit narrow. If you want your fullbacks to come, this is brilliant, no? Because I was thinking adding this in the second. I didn't realize it was there. So what you have is inside cutting fullbacks with wingers staying wide. Brilliant. This is going to tear the back five apart. It's going to rip that back five a new hole. Yeah, they're going to suffer, I tell you. This is brilliant, man. Nice. Do you think Manchester United should go for Glasner if Amorim gets sacked by Christmas? I don't think Amorim is going to get sacked. I think Amorim is going to come good this season for you guys. Okay, so what you're going to do now is I'm just going to make a slight change to your tactics. I'm just going to remove the underlap. That's it. That's the only change I need to do. Sorry. I thought it was more, but no, man. Just one change. Let's go, second half. And then we just did okay. That's it. Only one change needed. Remove the underlap on the right side so that the right side becomes a bit more threatening. This way, the winger on the right is not a support. He's still a support winger, but his mentality hasn't been neutered somewhat. I don't like to have focus play on both sides. I mean, it can help if you are playing extremely narrow. Okay, so let's say I want to play extremely narrow. What are you doing? Okay, extremely narrow, so we do this now. Okay. Now what's going to happen is, those fullbacks, they are the primary source of goals now. Because they are going to be running right through the middle as the wingers pull those central defenders or pull the wing backs apart. So those fullbacks are the real danger source now. So we can camp ourselves in front of them all day long and try and score goals. And we consider a stupid penalty. We are not doing well in this league. So let's go on key highlights now. I should have changed them. Yeah, second half again. I'm allowed to change, right? Okay, I'm also gonna go up. My mentality is gonna be attacking now. Christiansen is we're gonna make a substitution here. I'm gonna play someone else on the right flank. Zeki Celik for where's Christiansen? There we go. Bang. Tammy Abraham is just Christianity will come on for Paredes. We're going this way, and then we're hoping that these guys will tell you what we'll do. I get these guys to be wingers on attack now. These guys will be fullbacks on support. I'm going to try something different. This guy's going to come through the middle. This guy will be a shadow striker. He will whack the center. Okay, this guy is going to come this way. He's going to join him in attack. Box to box. Since this guy's a defend duty, I want to get a goal. So basically what I'm doing is I'm doing a stampede through the middle, right? So this guy's coming forward, this guy's going here, this guy's going here, this guy's coming here, this guy's coming here. So these guys are pulling the wingers apart. What else can I do? I don't like whip. Yeah, okay, mix. All right. Okay, that's it. Oh, we missed one. Does transfer lister request for transfer player affects their player performance? Not really. Yeah. Players was. I mean, the game is too simple in that sense because they don't make a player's performance go drastically bad when they are transfer listed. Because players will then complain. They might sue the company. I'm not that kind of a player. Oh, look at us, man. Oh, look at the attacks now. Holy cow, they are really trying to ram through the middle. We have got a battering. We created a battering ram right now. AF, Shadow Striker battering through the middle. Wingers giving us the width. The two fullbacks coming in support just behind. Box to box midfielder pushing. So this Shadow Striker now, if we can keep the ball, right? Shadow Striker actually shifts to the right. So it becomes like two players here on either side of the central defender. So the wing backs also occupied. So we can ram through the middle. So this is like my battering ram. It'll be a battering ram version of the same tactic. Yeah, 4-4-1-1 is actually quite strong. But my advice is, right, not to go around changing tactics willy-nilly. Yeah, master one tactic because there's so many ways you can make it work. All right, next tactic we've got. But that is not too bad. It's not a bad tactic, but you need to. But 4-4-1-1s, right? You always have to think about how can I push teams, right? How can I get more goals? Because these are very good tactics. Like sometimes I'll go wing on attack, pressing forward, shadow striker. So I got 4 guys on attack, right? These 4, then I have several options. There's so many ways of doing this. One, I could elect to do inverted fullback, libero, so I get a diamond in the center during build out, right? So this guy comes up, he becomes, then this guy holds, this guy goes up, is a box to box, and this guy is a shadow trequartista, right? Or shadow striker. He's going. So I get a step ladder through the center, and I get these guys pushing against those wingers. So in transition, it's a very difficult tactic to defend against. But at the moment, with this setup, you're actually banking on you. The thing is, here, when you do a mid block like this, the problem with a mid block like this is you're not really giving yourself too many goal scoring options. You only have one. So how do you get more? If you got a mid block, you really want to have more than one option. You want to attack the flanks or you want to attack the center, but you need to attack him with one guy. So I recommend whenever you play with a mid block or a low block to have at least 3 attacking duties. 1, 2, 3. These are your best positions for your attacking duties, and you need all 3 of them to be on attack duty. So then you can actually transition quickly to get the goal. Otherwise, you're just in a mid block. That's it. Doesn't do you much good. Well, you will struggle. What do you think about the league? I did that already. I did a show on that Bagaskara. I can't talk about it anymore. Otherwise, I get into trouble. Yeah. I did do a whole live stream. I talked about the thing when it first came up before SI decided to react to it. Yeah. In fact, I was the first guy to do it on my stream. Yeah. Foxes, I think this is the Foxes that we done easy when I look at Space Invaders. Okay, all right, Space Invaders. Let's see what this setup. A lot of the roles and duties you will see in FM26 are just reworked roles and duties from FM24. There are some new roles. There are not a lot of new roles in the game. There are going to be some. Yeah, I'm not saying much. Yeah, because when I saw it, I knew what it meant. It's no biggie, at the end of the day. It's not like it's the end. To me, it's no biggie. And I think I would caution people from falling for it's changed drastically, so we need to, the new role, this is a completely new role from that. No, I caution people, really do. Don't fall for it. Because the way I look at it, right, is different from other people. I'm not saying I played the game, okay? What I'm saying is, the logic, it defies logic for me because the code cannot change that much. Yeah, the code cannot change that much. So I'm looking at what's happening in Football Manager 26 to be this essentially, right? Right now, we have roles and we have duties. From what I can tell, there will be from what I suspect, there won't be any duties in FM26. Now, if that is the case, then they're gonna have to convert that duty, right, to a role, right? So there might be some roles that seem similar. So, yeah, how do you... Because right now, I do tend to agree there are too many roles and duties. It's confusing for most people. I'd rather call this a ball-playing keeper that becomes on attack. That's it, sweeper keeper. That's it, simple. The source code is still going to be the same. So it's just a description that, because SI will need to make it look, if I was a developer and I wanted to sell you a game that looks like it's a brand new game, but I wanted to, make sure that the code doesn't do difference, so I don't have to work so hard. What I would do? I would rename all the roles. Plus, I would remove all the duties tomorrow. That only makes sense. Yeah. I'm telling you guys, you have to do a matrix. Come out the game, the first thing I do is I'm doing a matrix because I don't believe that the game is going to be that drastically different, man. Yeah. Okay, here we go, next game. That's why I say Bagaskara, don't fall for it. There'll only be a few more new roles, but new one is the ball playing keeper versus sweeper keeper. Sweeper keeper, there are no duties in the game. Have you known? There are a lot. Okay, I'm not going to say too much because I'll get no trouble. Yeah. I don't need to be convinced. That's all I'm going to say. Exactly. Right now, the problem is, for a lot of people in the game, for new players, they don't know what Trequartista means. As I have had to rework all the roles and duties so that it's easier for them to translate the game in multiple languages. That's all. That is all. So if you go into the game thinking there's going to be a whole new set of roles and I have to relearn the whole game, you fell for it. That's all I'm going to say. The biggest change for this game is the UI and the graphics. That's all. Okay, they give them Unity. Unity allows them to do all that graphical changes to the game where they can finally do it. No, you're going to be waiting years to do it. They can't do it. So you have to look at it. So now you got this new game. So if I was SI, I was thinking, if I was like Miles going, now I know we can make this game look graphically good and new, but how do we make it feel like it's a brand new game? Ideas, people. Give me ideas. All right. I think these roles are too confusing. Yes, I agree. There are way too many roles in the game. I've been saying for years there are too many roles in the game. I'm one of those guys that wants roles to be removed. I want the Ramdaughter gone. I want the Trequartista gone. I want a simplified structure for the new newbie player. You gotta have I'm so tired of explaining to new players. No, what's the difference between inverted inside forward and inverted winger? This is a good tactic. It works. I don't have to play much. I look at the tactic. I was like, you gotta make a few changes. So Trequartista is not my favorite role in the whole game because CM and attack, CM and defend. The libero coming up. This guy is pushing all the way up. You don't need him to push all the way up. Why do you want this guy to attack? You should get this guy to attack and this guy to attack. That's the only mistake you made with this tactic. Because, right, your tactic is way too front foot, right? So it makes you defensively vulnerable. I prefer to have Daniel Alves' role when he was pressing the opposition for the whole 90 minutes. So change the meta. Yeah, I know. But the problem is the game cannot give us the game will never give, the SI will never give us a specific situation, those kind of specific to certain players kind of roles. Things that are specific to a specific player. Because I think they made a big mistake around Ramdaughter a long time ago. I was a big fan of not having a Ramdaughter in the game. I was one of those guys screaming, why are we having a Ramdaughter? Because why? One joker in the world is a Ramdaughter. The whole world must now have a Ramdaughter in their tactics. And true enough, right, the Ramdaughter as a role died. It only lasted for 1.5 seasons. After that, you don't see him playing as a round-outer anymore. See, that's a problem with the game. The too many football analysts giving new names. Now wait till this year. You guys haven't seen Man City in full swing yet. Man City are now playing the role I was saying this is going to be a big role this year, right? The City are already going to do it now. I predicted it last year, and I actually made my Joey Ghost crazy tactic around what I think is going to happen in 2026. Which is the fullback that comes up, sits in the middle, then charges through the middle, then goes up. It's like the inverted wingback, but he can also go wide as well. So it gives them a lot of options in attack. Salah is not a round-outer. If Salah was a round-outer, then Salah just hanging about the creek because round-outers don't defend. They don't press. Okay, we gotta change it. We gotta make a few changes. Okay, so now we're gonna take this guy. We gotta defend too much. Okay, that's it. Boom. You, I'm gonna swap. Okay, never mind. You come here. All right, you're gonna come here. You get further forward. My foot just becomes shadow striker. You don't have to get further forward. You pressing forward on attack or poacher. Stay in the box. Okay, good. That's it. Space invaders. Okay, this guy's gonna attack this space. This guy's gonna hold. This guy's gonna come here. This guy's gonna stop here. This guy's coming inside, I assume. No, he's not. Okay, that's interesting. Why would you do all that for? What are you doing? You're not going anywhere, is it? 1, 2, 3. No, you become inverted fullback on defend. You go underlap, take a higher position on the pitch. Take a higher position on the pitch as he comes up. You got 3. You got 1, 2, 3. You come up here. You come up here. You do that. Okay, pass into space. Okay, let's go. I would say, Marcus, that Mo Salah has been coming down quite a fair bit to defend. Yeah, when Trent Alexander-Arnold was playing, the number of times Mo Salah saved his behind, I lost track. Mo Salah saved his behind many, many times. So I disagree with that. I think definitely, go look at all the games. The number of games where Mo Salah came back to help him defend. Every time Trent moved inside, Mo Salah will move wide. So I would disagree with that. No. I definitely disagree with that. I see too many matches where Mo Salah made. That's one of the reasons why I was one of the guys who was a fan of Trent Alexander leaving, because it reduced Mo Salah's effectiveness. Yeah, this tactic has got issues. I would say that I'm not a big fan of the Trequartista in the system, and I don't think this would work the way you want it to. I think this needs to be reworked. Yeah. CM on defense, libero come. I like this idea. This is the only way I could get this team to stick. And then the box to box went up. He picked up, and then I think this guy has to be like an AM on support. But the problem is you will have a very good center, but not a lot of attacking options. And he scores a goal after that, just to prove me wrong. Goal Dybala, hurry up. Okay. Hey, Neil, how are you, man? I'm doing yeah. It's a decent Wednesday. Decent. Okay. All right. So those 3 tactics. I think this tactic needs a bit of work. Yeah, needs a bit of work. I mean, I can't really give you recommendations for this because there are a lot of things that are issues in this tactic. Like libero coming up, CM goes up, right? Then you only have these 2, and then you have this guy coming up. So you got a very lopsided shape. You don't really have 3 guys defending you in your rest defense. So my recommendation would be to rework this. An inverted fullback here would help. This role should really be a box-to-box midfielder or even a Mazzala. That Trequartista punching out, this guy punching out, gives you a lot of issues with transitioning the ball. So things like this fairly wide doesn't really help you. So you really should look at playing as narrow as possible so that you can transition to the middle. Otherwise, long passes and you're not going to keep the ball. So there's a fair few things in this that need to be reworked. Okay, so let's see what kind of tactics you guys are going on. This is all off, man. Okay, come on. Wing D. Okay, Neil, your tactic is in the house. All right, let's go here. Let me put this here. All right, let me come in here and we look at Neil's tactic. This 4-4-2. Roma team falling out of the top half of the table. Frimpong is an upgrade to Ta. Frimpong is going to be the flying wing back. Liverpool are their rest defense this year is going to be a major difference. This season is going to be very, very crazy. I think Liverpool are scary this season. I don't know. They're going to look good going forward, but Liverpool are losing, even in preseason, they're losing too many balls in transition in the midfield phase. They're very vulnerable, and that's why all the glaring weaknesses of Virgil van Dijk are coming to the front right now. Yeah. Last season, they were playing more like a three, they had a rest defense, which was 3 at the back. This year, they only have 2. They were doing a 3-1 instead of a 3-2 like they did last season. No. So they're going to have an issue this year. They've completely reworked their tactic this year. There's a very different tactical system from last season. And they are leveraging off flying wingbacks this season. So you got to be careful looking at Liverpool. Dundee United are happy to have Lucas Stevenson. Lucas Stevenson is a good player. I have a question about tempo and behind the score. Would increasing the tempo have a positive effect? Or should I keep the tempo low in order to control possession? I think you should be very careful with the way you use tempo. Tempo is about getting, moving the ball up quick or fast, right? Basically, how your players approach the game. Now, if you play on really low tempos, you're taking your time to get up the pitch. Yeah, the first thing. Secondly, if your team doesn't have the quality to play like that, means they don't have composure, balance, first touch, then you're asking for your team to lose the ball against a team that's hell-bent on pressing you hard. Playing a high block and a high defensive line. They got a compressed zone. So they're going to be pressing you all the way. So your team has to have the composure to move the ball around. So if they don't have the composure to move the ball around, they're going to run. They're going to be in trouble. So looking at your tactic now. Okay, let's look at your tactic. You got a defensive winger. There's not a lot of width in this tactic. So your defensive wingers are not popping up. Your Volante is going out all by his lonesome. The wide playmaker is on the left, holding out the ball. So you basically have a tactic where you're going, you know what, I'm doing a lot of creativity on the left side of the pitch just for one player to score goals. And even then, he's not moving a lot. So either you have God's gift to the best team in the world, or this tactic is not going to work for a lot of average teams. So for me, tactics like this, you're depending on like a team to keep the ball for 90 minutes. No? Would it work? Doubt it. So I would go like, you have 2, don't do this. Just go DLF on attack. Okay? Poacher on attack, fine. Or maybe even advanced or just go out there and join the party. Okay? You got this winger and this wide playmaker. This guy's a defensive winger. Just trying to do a winger on support. Defensive wingers are actually very good. So you play them on support. And then what you want him to do is get further forward, cross on byline, take more risks. Okay? Now he's going to be a hunky-dory one. He's going to punch through the mid. He's going to really go forward. He's going to punch a lot. Okay, we got Volante. Okay, we just leave the Volante alone. Now focus play down the right. Why would you focus play down the right when all your geniuses are on the left? So you move this, you are there on the wrong side. You don't underlap on this side. Okay, so underlap is not even necessary in this tactic. Okay, so width is fine, tempo is fine, right defense is fine. Okay, so now you got counter. Okay, so lower defensive line. Okay, when you play a lower defensive line, basically your midfield is not supporting attack. Then you have libero on support. Wrong. You want a libero to come up and support. Don't play low defensive line. You basically tell the libero, hey, to hell with the rest of the team. I'm not doing much. You can't do that with a libero. You have to play high defensive line. Because you want the libero to be positioned up here to help the anchor man. So you can't do it with a libero. You want to play a libero. A defensive line is how high up the pitch do you want your back line supporting the midfield? And the rest of the players as well, like the midfielders, how far do you want them to help your midfielders? If you play with a low defensive line, you don't get this. You don't get attacks. So you need to actually have to decide your defensive line. A low block is a low block. A low defensive line, they're the two different things altogether. A block is where I want to start by defending. So if I wanted to set up a tactic and draw teams in, I'll do this. Mid block. Now I play a compressed tactic like this, right? So I step up more, I squeeze the space. Okay, this is about creating compression, right? So I create compression. Now let's say I don't want the libero to be too high up. I don't want my back line to be too high up. Then I can do something like this is a mid block. You can also do this, standard defensive line. Still achieves the same thing. No worries, no worries. I've had mixed results. You will struggle because of the defensive line. Actually, I would not change too much in the tactic. Like, if you want to do if you want to do that whole, I want to funk it up, right? Then do it like this. In fact, in your tactic, right, this guy can be a volante on support. This guy can also be a winger on attack. Winger on support. He can come in and score goals on this side, but your focus play should be on the left, not on the right. Because if you play focus play on the right, you're not going to achieve a lot. Yeah. And if you do win a lot of games, it'll probably be down to you not really seeing the goals that you thought you were creating. So that could be a problem for you. So I would recommend if you go into this tactic, first up, drop this. Now, this tells you 50-50, go down the flanks, right? Okay, so now you got this. Now the question is, all these flirters, they're creating goals for these two guys only. Is that what your goal is? If that is your goal, go ahead. Okay, then you do it like this. Ping, ping. Focus play. No underlap is needed, sorry. Focus play down the left. That's it. All these guys, they're just moving the ball around this area. Underlap might help this guy get a high up the pitch, right? Okay, done. His mentality is higher. Widest player looks for inside runs. They got this guy, and you got a poacher. I mean, in this setup, a poacher is probably not your friend. Advanced ball is probably your friend, yeah. Or you can go pressing forward. Yeah. Poacher only works if poacher will work against a very defensive sitting back. That's all I will. That's when I will use a poacher. Then you can move the team around. Defensive winger here. Yeah. You don't. Yeah. Okay. This is it. You did this right. So this is fine. You can even go to the byline now. Okay. Now you got a very aggressive defensive winger. That's it. Boom. Nicely done. Volante moving up. This guy comes to the center. You got 3-man defense. These guys, and then this role can be an advanced or a poacher, but your focus play should be on this side, not on the right side. That's it. Otherwise, yeah, then I think it can work. Okay, let's look at the other tactics that are coming in. I'll pick one or two from you guys, and we'll see what we have. FM file request, FM24. Where's FM24? Oh no. What? Suddenly I've forgotten how there we go. BYT public. Okay, what do we have today? We have a couple of tactics. So I'm gonna pick a few and we're gonna talk about them, and I may play one of them. Once again, guys, a reminder that from I think October, I will be streaming at different times, partly because I have to look after the kids most of the time. And I will need that time. And so the stream times are going to change tremendously, man. Yeah, I like to switch roles situationally. Yeah, that's good, man. I think that's how you should be playing Football Manager. You shouldn't be tied down to roles and duties and all that nonsense. When people go in, that's the only way for me to play, that's a bit wrong. Public, extract all, browse, select folder, extract. I should get the right tactics in. Okay. Yeah, there we go. All right, we got a few tactics. Take this. Take a look at this. Mazala winger PF. Not bad. Well, I don't play this. Don't play inverted wingback. These guys are going to come here. So what I would do is I'll change this role to fullback on support or attack, and then give him this role. Yeah, this is it. This is much better. You can even play it. Then you can change this in the course of the game because you'll drop into this position to help you defend, right? So then you get your 3-man defense. This guy can be an attack. You can drive these guys on attack. So once in a while, he'll go wide. Well, sometimes he'll go center. If you always want him to go in the middle, then play inverted wingback. Although I don't think that's wise. Yeah. Because a transition, this does better defensively. Mazala attack comes into this half space. Then you want to have an underlap focus play on this side. Okay, that way this side becomes a principal goal scoring sides. You got inside forward on attack, or you can play inside forward here. That's the changes I'll make to your tactic. I'll probably play inside forward here so that you can do a focus play on this side because you're using a Mazala, right? Mazala will come in, attack this side, and then you can do diagonal attacks into this area. That could work. I mean, other than that, I don't see any PIs in your tactic. And command is very defensive. Box to box will come up here, Mazala will come up here. The problem with this center is there may not be a lot of players being able to bring the ball up, but you're playing a very narrow. I'll mix the passing of the standard, and the tempo I'll drop it to slightly one notch. I won't play on very highest, otherwise you might lose the ball too often. But this could be the way I'd set it up. Winger Mazala, pull back here instead of inverted wing back. Next tactic. Okay, so we got 4-2-3-1. This is a Volante with a Libero, nice DM. So this guy fills the hole. This guy is fine. This is fine. I like this. You know, get further forward. I'll leave it. Okay, you can get further forward, but then get this guy to be a support duty. Yeah, okay. Now, if you get this guy to get further forward, this guy supposedly you get a very difficult to break down center. You know, very tough to break this center down. Okay, you underlap on the left. If you underlap on the left, this guy is not a primary goal scorer. You want to underlap on the right. Okay, and remove the focus play here. You underlap left so that the team moves to the right side, creating more space on the inside forward to score goals. Then you have your focus play on the right. Yeah, this is your 4-2-3-1, right? I think this is a good tactic. It is a good tactic. It will work. But I would add like underlap and focus play on the right side. If you had an underlap and the focus play on the right side, okay, you will get more goal scoring opportunities with this setup, because Volante goes up, Libero comes up to fill the void, right? This guy will be of influence to be slightly high and sometimes overlap. And then this winger will be the more creative one among this group. And this AP will shift to this side of the pitch when you sometimes have the ball on that side. Now, if you want the AP and the winger to be both creative influencers, right? What you do is you play the DM here. You play the Volante. The only problem here in this setup now is your Libero is got a block on him, right? So these guys are offset. So this is not ideal. Now Liberos will come onto this side of the pitch, which can help, but I would say that it then puts too many players here. So this guy is basically a role that you can change in a lot of games then. Because if you put a Volante here, what will now happen is this guy becomes a goal-scoring threat. Dekan becomes an anchor, right? And now in a lot of your games, you can actually play this guy differently. You can play, sometimes you can play Shadow Striker here in certain games, because you remember the Volante comes here, this guy comes here, so you can have a double attack on this side of the pitch. Because every time positional play comes into play, you get 4 in the midfield. Yeah, I made a few Regista tactics, yeah, but not here now. Yeah, Regista, the easiest Regista tactic, the best one is probably the 4-1-3-2. Yeah, the best Regista system is the 4-1-3-2. That is the easiest for. That's like one of the best. Okay, I don't know. I've lost track of which one. Xbox, Sean. Your tactic. Volante, wingback on defense. Okay, this is very defensive. It's too defensive. You don't need a wingback to be on defense duty. You got back 3 already with the guy on support. I always tell people, right, if you're gonna play a back 5, don't ever play a defense duty for a wingback. Don't need to. Because this is already solid enough. He can defend. You're not going to defend a lot with a wingback. Why? Because the Volante is going attack. You know what's the point of having a ball-winning midfielder then? Right? So you're getting this guy to cover a lot of ground. So you don't need this guy to come and help defend and keep these 3 protected. Then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So many players helping you in the defensive phase. So the problem with this setup is this. You've got this guy attacking here. Okay? And you've got this guy on the left. Okay? He's a very... Okay, I mean, it can work. This can work if we do this, okay? All right, now what I've done is I've given this guy a higher mentality to come and support this guy. What I've also done is given this focus play on the left. So you build up play on the left. I'll turn this guy into like a B or defensive midfielder on support. Or if you want to go ball winning midfielder on support, what happens is he wins the ball too high up the pitch, right? So you can go like DM on support or DM on defense. Now you have an anchor sort of, you know. Here, this guy, try this out. Okay, this might blow your mind. Okay. Now you've got this guy going, this guy coming here into the center. And this guy becomes a white center back on defense. Okay. Now you've got this guy coming up to this guy coming here. And you're building all your play up on this side of the pitch, right? With this guy looking to release the 1, 2, 3, 4. Because this guy is now going to become a goal scoring threat. And against some teams that are weaker, you can always tell him to be, put him on attack duty. So he's at the edge of the area waiting to score goals. And if you want everybody to be involved in goal scoring goals, you change this guy to a poacher. So this can work for a lot of teams. It can change the way you play. All right, so it'll be quite fun. And then I'm not a big fan of this. In most cases, this is the best setup. Okay, next tactic we got 4-2-3-1, the newest. Fullback, wingback, volante. This is a left-sided attacking system. The only problem with this kind of tactics is you are leaving yourself very vulnerable to the defensive transition because you have a lot of players in the attacking third, right? And you don't have your rest defense is non-existent down the flank. So if you lose the ball with any one of these players, your game is over. Yeah, that's the only problem with this setup. So my advice would be that if you're going to play this, it has to be a very, very good team. Average teams, it won't work. Because you see, every time these guys, they need to be very good at keeping the ball. So I would leave the tactic as it is. The only thing that this tactic is going to kill it is if you don't have really good players. Like you need a very good inside forward because this fullback is coming up the pitch, right? He can go left, he can go right, and then inside forward is here. You got to overlap down the right, which means that you're only looking at doing crosses half the time. Inside forward help him pull the ball out, and then you slide. Yeah, I would say that there's nothing fundamentally wrong with this tactic, right? Invite crosses will just keep you narrower. Step up more, you're looking to play the offside track. They're aggressive. And yeah, I mean, honestly, right, this is an aggressive tactic. It needs a good team. And if the only way you're going to if you're struggling with this tactical system is down to the fact that you don't have the players for it. That's all. This is a very good tactic, but it can only work with very good teams. Like I said before, the whole game is going to be you guys are going to have to create a matrix to find out which are the new roles, and that's all. Never win or lose. Yeah, there's nothing too different about the game. I mean, in my opinion, there's not too much that's changed about the game. Okay, so we got winger, white playmaker. This is funky. These kind of tactics, you know what happens with these kind of tactics? When you put a white playmaker here, you're asking for trouble. Yeah. This is not the place for a white playmaker in this kind of a tactic because this is a 3-4-2-1. There are so many ways to make a 3-4-2-1, and you don't really need to make a 3-4-2-1 like this. And you do like a 4-4. You can play a 4-4-2 and still have a 3-4-2-1 in transition. You can have a 4. Let me see. Back 4. Yeah, you can play a 4-4-1-1 as well because these two roles, Trakotisa, AM, and they're all attacking, right? And then you're getting these guys to defend. But then what happens here? They're gonna get exposed. Okay, so if you want to do something, I'll tell you what. You do defensive midfield support, double defensive midfielders. Okay, you tell one guy. I'm not gonna change too much. You need to you will probably end up you need to figure this out on your own. Okay? All right, this can work, no? Okay. All right, so what you do is you don't play... Okay, you want to play a track. Okay, we'll let the track be there. Okay, we'll play a poacher. Okay, that's fine. AM on attack. No need. I'll play Shadow Striker. You see, you want to do the full Monty, man. Okay, Shadow Striker, Trakotisa, two DMs. You don't need a white playmaker here. Don't ask for trouble. Play a defensive wing on support. Try this out. Okay, try this out. Don't knock this guy down. This guy is a very good role. Defensive winger. Okay, slightly more direct passing. Wow, long passes. And then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. How the heck? What? You're going to hoof the ball? No need. Don't play low crosses. Play mix. Okay, play mix here. Higher tempo is your friend. Yeah. Then what you do in these two positions, players with great passing. if you're going to do libero, right? Think like this once. Volante went up. These two became liberos. Want to see a really crazy version of this tactic? This is the craziest version of this tactic. And both these roles are defensive wingers. This is a psycho tactic, but it can work. This is one crazy type. So what you can do is, you can try. I would go, why don't you try this? Play this instead. You could get, but this you need players here with high work rate. Okay, you need liberos who can pass the ball. We're gonna have a problem in the next game. I don't have the players for this. I do not have the players. I'm gonna get wallop, man. Play this. I'm playing Milan. I don't have the players. We had the same tactic, what? Chico, we did a double libero system on a stream so many times already. With a back three. I did the same tactic at the start of FM as well. But in that one, I played with 3 men in front. Take fewer risks, take more risks. We got 2 of these cross on byline. We don't need the cross on byline now. Get them both like that. Okay. Do wall passing. Okay. Counter press. There's no mid block in this tactic. There's no trap. I don't play traps for my manager. Higher defensive, much higher defensive line. Okay. I'm going to do prevent shot goalkeeper distribution with this tactic. We done 2 liberos before many times. One of the tactics we did was a double libero system, but defend, and then one guy is a defend duty. But problem is, you don't have high work rate in your team, you're in trouble. So who we got? Smalling, Loriente, Mancini, Bove, Paredes. Bove is okay. Paredes is gonna break a few bones along the way. You can't do 3. I wouldn't do 3 liberos. 2 liberos at the most. I done 3 before. 3 is a bit chaotic. Wait, hold on. No balance. We're gonna go attacking. High up the pitch. Push the NT all the way. Like this, and then distribute to flanks when I have the ball. No player or defense. No player or defense. I don't want to draw them in. I just want to attack them all the way. Yeah, we lost. I'm telling you, we're gonna have a problem with this team. This team can't play this. Because I'm assuming we got back 3, right? You have the players for it. Whenever you play with this kind of front foot attacking systems, right? All your strikers, your front group, right? They all need aggression. This guy is okay. This guy has got no aggression. Okay, let's see what we can dribble less, pass into space. I can't do anything else. That's about it. Okay, let's go. Oh yeah, one more. What is it I did? I added this, right? Don't need this. Sorry. My bad. I just saw the prevent shot goalkeeper distribution. That was a problem. 1 centre back versus 3 central attacking midfielders. We concede a goal from a corner, right? So even the trick here is, did we concede a goal from opening play? We'll consider one from a corner. I wouldn't put the DMs as what, the DWs? DMs into no, cannot. Then got nobody. You don't put the DMs into an inverted wing. Then got no one in the middle. Yeah, you don't want that. Because that's the position they fall into when they're defending. Otherwise, you got a problem. You got nobody in there defending. Cannot. Don't have the players for this, you're screwed. Again, they came down the flanks. He's got a yellow card already. Do I have another DM? I don't have another. I'm gonna run out. That's it. I don't have more DMs. Sorry. Pass into space. We want to have pass into space in this tactic. And we don't want to use a poacher. We want to use a pressing forward. We gotta go back. You don't want a poacher, you want a pressing forward or an advanced forward, right? Advanced forward will just mean that the attacks are even faster. You also can use a target man and a shadow striker because we're using a shadow striker there. So we want the attacks to be very, very fast. Because we will hit a lot of teams in transition. Tracotista, I'm not a big fan of this role because they don't defend. We need all three of them to put pressure on the opposition. I'm going to remove this and play a shadow striker. I'm not a big fan of Tracotista. I'm telling you right now. If you want any of these front foot tactics, you never put in a Tracotista. Anytime you have this kind of setup, right? Forget the Tracotista. Just attack. So far, okay. We got a much better transitional goal from there. Reindeers what a signing for Man City, man. They got one of the best players in the world right now. They scored a goal. But we don't have the height on the flanks. The two guys on the flanks, they don't have the height to come and help us defend. Yeah. The two. Yeah. They don't have the height to help us defend. I hardly see them coming back. The other version of this is, of course, the 5-2-2-1. Yeah. But you can definitely make this work, no? It can work. Yeah, I've done it before. Double libero system with a volante, and then you can also pull these guys back as wing backs. Then what you get is a very attacking system. But then you drop into nice mid blocks all the time when you're defending. So the only reason why we're not really we consider goals, right, is because those defensive wingers were not in the right positions to help us defend. But I would try like wing backs if you want, or you get a better defensive winger. I don't have the players who can play that role right now. Yeah. Sharawi is not a player you play as you don't play this guy as a defensive winger, frankly speaking. That's one of the reasons why when I looked at the tactic, I knew that this is wrong for him. Because he never was in the right position to help us defend. Because he's got aggression on 9, he's got positioning on 9 and tackling of 8. So whenever they went down his flank, we just got opened up. So you can make this work. I know it's worked before. But it's a more attacking version of the tactic. Yeah, because I would go like, okay, why don't you go all the way? But I probably would not use a Trequartista. And players are going to be very important here. They need aggression. They just need aggression. They need work rate. They need to be able to tackle the ball. They can't tackle the ball. We're just going to end up in situations where, hey, you know what? Nobody's defending, man. Help us defend. Help us defend. No one is defending. So that's going to give us issues in the long run. All right, guys. So that's it for today. Is there a scramjet tactic? No, there's no scramjet tactic for FM24. The only closest one is Joey Goes Crazy. Joey Goes Crazy is the craziest tactic I made for Football Manager, and it's got everyone that is going crazy. If you no, just don't put a Trequartista there. You put a ball waiting midfielder in a 3-4-3. What's going to happen is that they're going to have a hope. The hole is going to appear, man. Hope the 4-4-1-1. The 4-4-1 wasn't bad. It just needed a few more attack duties, as Spurs fan. He just uploaded. Okay, I'll take one look at one more tactic. No, it's not on Discord. Yeah, it was on Discord. I'll take a look. Hey, it was on Discord, I think. Yeah, it should be on Discord. The Discord folder. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Download. Let's take a look at that tactic. We're gonna have to play. We'll play that tactic. Copy. BOT. Our team is struggling. We still haven't been fired yet. This Roma team, the manager is still in the job. The reason why I'm still in the job is because we made him unsackable. Yeah, otherwise I'll be sacked. Drew, I'm doing well. I'm okay. Doing okay. I just have to get the kids their dinner soon. Yeah. All right, we are going to be playing Brianza, so let's see how this tactic pans out. Now, naturally, I mean, we've been on a massive losing streak, so don't count that against the tactical system. Next, we have to choose a new team again very soon. Okay, let's see the tactic. Xbox. One tactic for all. Must be it. Okay. All right, 4-3-3. Mezzala, winger. It's a good tactic, man. Except the inverted. The one role I dislike the most is in that tactic. I mean, I think it can work. Inverted wingbacks can work. You just need the right player for it. That's the only problem. Not really. But he's going to be interesting inverted wingback. And then we need aggression everywhere to cover for the inverted wingback. Drop off more interesting. Interesting that you chose drop off more. You're not playing the offside trap. You're actually asking your team to drop deep, hit early crosses and whip crosses, and everything is a flank based attack. So basically, this is a tactic that I would say we have to be careful, because if you don't have players that are great in the air, you could see a lot of crosses in this tactic. Yeah, that's only downside. Yeah. So we have to play this tactic for 45 minutes. He's coming off Discord. So let's see how it does in extended highlights. Okay. We couldn't transition the ball from defense into midfield. That midfield phase, nothing happened. No. The ball went to midfield and died. So. Okay, Brianza we should beat. Mezzala, okay, ball winning midfielder, box to box midfielder, transition out the pitch, fullback, inverted wingback coming here, Formula 2. This guy comes in this pocket, this guy comes here. That's okay. You got like a nice little box midfield going for you. So all you gotta do is make sure the inverted wingback is of a quality that he can cover the pitch. Yeah. Whenever you play inverted wingbacks, all you gotta worry about is work rate. His ability to cover the pitch. They're doing us favors. They're playing a back four. Okay. Sorry, they're playing a flat four-man midfield. They're doing us a lot of favors. We got to overpower their center easily. There we go. Another one. Lukaku got inside. Got a shot. Nice. I like what I see. This is okay. I mean, like I did say, there's no difference between this role and there's a difference between the fullback, false fullback in this role, right? The inverted wingback is making it. He sits here and then he attacks the center. So that's his goal. His goal is never to go to the right side. The winger is hugging the right side. Fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I have never had an issue with that. The only issue I have is high risk, meaning that he's always going to be counter pressing in this zone. So when you lose the ball, he might have to he's got a lot of territory to cover, which is the reason why I prefer the fullback. Because the fullback doesn't always go in and doesn't always go wide, right? So a tendency to. That's the only reason why I prefer the fullback. And now we've got a pretty solid role player for this role because Karsdorp likes to play killer ball. So he's got a tendency once in a while to make those kind of passes that we want an inverted wingback to be playing. So I would say, yeah, I wouldn't change too much. I'm not making changes. Yeah. I think the tactic in itself is fine. Yeah. Because I see the transitions. There was only one field transition just now. And that probably has got to be down to this. So I'm just going to drop it. So I don't use the width all the time because the Mazala is operating in the half channel. Yeah. And we got box to box, and then we got this guy coming up there. Karsdorp is already defending. You see that yellow card, usually indication that you have to think about another player coming on. See, this is not a problem. It's going to be the weakest link in your tactic. Yeah. The fullback, the inverted fullback. The inverted wingback. It's going to be the weakest link in this tactic. So the only one that you have to constantly monitor this guy, Yeah. Because the false fullback will also get to the same positions as him to score goals. So that's why you got swapping going on as well. Oh God. Okay. Okay, all right, fine. All right, I leave people to do the swapping, okay? All right, swapping is fun. I used to do a lot of swapping in my tactics as well. I swap these two guys left and right. One time is on the left, one time is the right. If you have the players for it, go for it, man. Once again, swapping is a tendency. It doesn't happen all the time, but you need the players with the who can play both positions. They must be able to play in both positions. If they can't, then you have a problem. Then you have a massive problem like we do because Sharabi can't play in that position all the time. Yeah. And then you see the inverted wingback keeps coming to score goals. Same thing in the false fullback. Yeah, it should work. It will work nicely. This is a tactic that definitely works. Yeah, don't change. It definitely works. It's a good tactic. There's no reason to, but the problem with this system is probably going to be your player requirements. You need to find the right players for this tactic. If you don't get the right players for this tactic, you're going to struggle all along. And then no matter what you do, you struggle. can't do much after that. Yeah. Hey, I'm fine, man. I'm fine, guys. Did you see my Black Myth new DLC? No, I have not. I've not seen the Black Myth new DLC. Yeah, I haven't seen it yet. Yeah, I haven't had time to look at it. No. Yeah. I might later tonight because now I gotta go and give my kids their dinner. Okay. Yep. Now it's time for me to rush off, give the children their dinner, make sure they're settled in. They got their school exams, rather a topical assessment, whatever they call these primary school examinations for children, which is like torture for the kids nowadays. Hi kids, what is happening? Oh, I'm going to school. Why? I got topic. My son dragged home his entire workload for the last few years, and he needed another school bag just for those books. Yeah, so I gotta go and spend some time with them, get them ready, man. So thank everybody for coming on today's stream. Today was a show we like to call Diagnosis. Typically, these shows are not more than 2 hours long. But, timings are going to change very, very soon as well for all these streams. They're going to start happening in 12 hours, meaning much later. Right? Like, as in, take the time you see on the clock right now and flip it around. If it's AM for you, it's going to be PM. That's when I'll start. So, I want to thank everybody for coming for today's stream. You guys have been fantastic. Please stay safe. Take care of yourselves. I shall see you very, very soon. We'll see you tomorrow.